Hello everyone and welcome back to DBJ College Chipro. Our today's topic is solid waste management from the subject environment education and water security. As we all know, we have started our second lesson, environmental pollution, and in previous sessions we have talked about air pollution, climate change, soil pollution and noise pollution. And today we are going to talk about solid waste management. So let us get into the today's topic. Let us start with the meaning of solid waste. Solid waste, the term solid waste means material such as household garbage, food waste and demolition or construction debris. So solid waste means material such as household garbage, food waste and demolition and construction debris. As the word solid waste itself indicates that the waste does not include any gaseous or liquid waste. And the third part is solid wastes are all the discarded solid materials only from municipal, industrial and agricultural activities. So basically solid waste includes solid materials, the waste which is solid in nature from industrial, municipal and agricultural activities. So this is the simple meaning of solid waste. After this, then the next important part is types of solid waste. Now, solid waste is classified as a biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Along with this classification, solid waste can also be classified as a dry garbage and wet garbage. First of all, let us discuss biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. First type is biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste originated from plants, animal sources which are degraded by other living organisms. So in simple words, biodegradable waste is the waste that can be degraded with the help of microorganisms. So it is decomposable waste with the help of microorganisms. It includes green waste, food waste, paper waste and garden waste. It also includes the sewage and sludge and slaughterhouse waste, etc. So this is all about biodegradable waste. In short, biodegradable waste means the waste which can be decomposable or which is decomposable, which can be degraded with the help of microorganisms, and it includes the kitchen waste, garden waste and sewage, sludge and slaughterhouse waste. Now the next type is non-biodegradable waste. Non-biodegradable wastes is the wastes that do not decompose naturally in the environment, causes pollution and are harmful to the living beings and environment. As non-biodegradable waste is not degraded naturally in the environment, so it causes environmental pollution and poses threat to the living organisms including humans and environment. Non-biodegradable waste includes plastic materials, rubber, glass, metals, thermocol and e-waste. So these are the wastes that are included in non-biodegradable waste. So this is the first classification of solid waste: biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Now along with this, solid waste can also be classified as wet garbage and dry garbage, or wet waste and dry waste. So let us discuss wet waste first. Wet waste is a biodegradable waste which includes cooked and uncooked food materials, fruits, vegetable peels, garden waste and other organically decomposable wastes. So wet garbage is basically wet in nature, which is organically decomposable, which is degraded naturally by the microorganisms. It includes cooked and uncooked food, fruits, vegetable peels, garden waste and the other waste that can be degraded naturally with the help of microorganisms. Another type is dry waste or dry garbage. It is dry in nature. It includes aluminium foils, Tetra packs, glass, paper, plastic, metals, etc. And this dry waste is mostly used for recycling. So dry waste is mostly recycled. So this is all about classification of solid waste. Now, after studying classification of solid waste, let us discuss sources of solid waste. So here are the sources of solid waste. Now the sources of solid waste are, first important source is domestic waste. Let us discuss domestic waste first. Domestic waste is the waste from home, includes organic matter like vegetable peels, spoiled food, glass products, packaging materials like cardboards, plastic bags, foam, electronic waste and furnitures, etc. So domestic waste includes all the waste that is generated in our homes in day-to-day activities. It can be kitchen waste, and along with kitchen waste it also includes packaging materials, plastics, some metallic elements, cardboards, or even e-waste or furnitures, etc. Another source is agricultural waste. Agricultural waste is a basically waste which is generated in agricultural activities. It includes crop residues, waste from processing of crops, and excreta of animals. So this is all about agricultural waste. The third source is industries. Industrial waste. Industrial waste is produced by industrial activities. It includes materials rendered useless during manufacturing processes. So the waste materials produced in industries is nothing but industrial waste, or it is all about industrial waste. Now the next source is biomedical waste. Biomedical waste is the waste produced in hospitals and clinical laboratories. So it comes from clinics, pathology labs and hospitals. It mainly consists of infectious waste, sharps like needles, knives, dressings, body parts and expired medicines. So biomedical waste is highly dangerous because it consists of infectious wastes and expired medicines. It also includes body parts and therefore it is dangerous. One more source is e-waste, which is also called as electronic waste. E-waste is generated from used electronic devices and household appliances. E-waste has been categorized into three main groups. First is large household appliances. In large household appliances, equipments like refrigerators and washing machines are there. Second is IT and telecom. In IT and telecom, personal computers, monitors and laptops are there. And the third important category is consumer equipments. In consumer equipments, television, mobile phones are the represents consumer equipments. So this is all about e-waste or electronic waste. And the last source is commercial waste. Commercial waste consists of packaging materials, discarded office equipments and furniture, e-waste in offices. So commercial waste includes the waste which is produced in commercial activities or in the waste which is generated in offices. So this is all about sources of solid waste. After studying sources, let us discuss about waste management, solid waste management hierarchy. So here is the solid waste management hierarchy, in which we can see 4 R's are there. 4 R's. The first R is reduce. Second R is for reuse. Third is for recycle. And fourth is for recover. So, and disposal is at the bottom of solid waste management hierarchy. So these 4 R's indicates first is reduce. So in first initial stage we have to reduce the waste, then we have to reduce the usage of the waste so that waste generated will be minimum. Then reuse, so we have to use the things again and again to minimize the waste. Third is recycle, we have to reprocess or recycle the things from the waste to minimize the waste. And in the fourth R, we have to recover energy and metals from the waste. So by using these 4 R's, we can minimize the amount of waste generated, and in the end the waste that is left after reusing, recycling, reducing and recovering, the waste left is disposed of properly. So let us discuss waste management hierarchy in detail. So as told, in the waste management hierarchy, the first step is reducing the waste. Waste generation is the product of human activity. Hence, the quantity of waste produced can be controlled by people. If everyone buys only things which are needed and uses items for longer period, waste generation will be minimum. So to produce less amount of waste, we have to use the things which are really essential to us. So to use the materials in optimum manner, we can minimize the waste generated. Source reduction is also known as waste prevention, and this reduction of the waste can be achieved through behavioral changes in all citizens. Waste reduction cuts the municipal cost involved in waste collection and disposal. When we produce less amount of waste, it can minimize the cost that we spend on the collection and disposal of the waste. So this is how reduction is very important step in the waste management hierarchy. Now the second important step is to reuse. We should not throw away the things that can still be used to the possible extent. So we should not throw away the things which can be used again and again. We should repair and reuse the things with little changes. We can use such a things with little changes, or we can use them as it is again and again. So this is what reuse is. Reuse also minimizes the amount of waste. The third important step is recycling. Very important step. Recycling is the process of converting waste material into new materials. Is the process of converting waste materials into new materials and other useful products. Recycling is the most widely recognized form of source reduction. It involves the processes of segregation, collection, processing of new products and its marketing. It uses the materials that would have otherwise been discarded or dumped. It is the fundamental part of modern waste management plan. It can divert a significant portion of waste stream from disposal in landfills and combustion facilities. Recycling is possible only if the waste is segregated at the source. So to recycle the waste, first of all, it is very essential to segregate the waste. So to segregate this waste, we have to place two bins in industries or in our houses also, one for dry waste and one for wet garbage. So if we segregate the waste at its source, then only we can recycle the waste. So this is all about recycling. Now in recycling, let us see which things can be recycled. As we all know, we can recycle paper, plastic, metals and glass. So these are some of the common materials that can be recycled, that can be reprocessed. So let us discuss about recycling of all these things. Let us start with recycling of paper. So in case of papers, as far as paper recycling is concerned, paper recycling is the process of recovering waste paper and remaking it into new paper products. Paper and cardboards from the second largest components. Paper and cardboards form the second largest component of domestic waste. Paper recycling is practiced extensively as it reduces the demand for wood and energy. Here is the process of recycling of waste. So in this process, as we can see, the waste paper is collected and it is sent to the sorting unit. After sorting the paper, paper is trimmed into small pieces and the paper products or the trimmed paper is washed with the help of chemicals. After washing the paper with chemicals, paper is turned into pulp, and with the help of this pulp, new paper is produced, which can be again sent to the market for utilization. So this is how paper can be recycled. After recycling of the paper, let us see recycling of glass, which is also important. Now glass is commonly recycled material. Recycling of broken glass reduces the risk of hazard. Recycled glass has economic value only when it can be separated by color. If we separate the glass as per its color, then only we can recycle the glass properly. Without segregation of the glass as per the colors, recycling is impossible. So let us discuss the recycling of glass. So here is the waste glass which is collected. After collecting the waste glass, it is sent to the sorting unit. In sorting units, the glass pieces or the waste glass is sorted as per the colors, and then the waste glass is crushed or it is melted, and after melting of the glass, new glass products are made which are then sent to the market. So this is how glass is recycled. Let me remind you one more thing. One of the important thing that in the recycling of glass, segregation of the glass as per the color is very important. Now after recycling of glass, let us discuss recycling of metals. In metals can be used in several ways. Metals can be used for industrial purposes and domestic items as well. The good thing about metal recycling is that metals can be recycled over and over. The most common recyclable metal includes aluminium and iron. So the good thing about metals is they can be recycled, they can be used again and again, they can be reprocessed again and again. Here is the process of recycling of metals. So in recycling of the metals, the first process is the scrap metal is collected, and this metal, as the scrap metal is collected, is sent to the sorting unit. In sorting unit, the metals are sorted as per the types and quality. After sorting the metals as per the types and quality, the metals are broken down into teeny pieces, into small pieces. After this, these teeny pieces are melted. So the melting and purification of scrap metal is very important process in recycling of metals. So after melting and purification of metals, scrap metal or the waste metal, new metal products are made, which are then sent to the market. So this is how metals are recycled. And after recycling of metals, let us discuss recycling of plastics. In recycling of plastic is among the most popular and important materials used in the modern world. However, its popularity is the part of huge problem and reason why plastic should be recycled. Instead of throwing them away and polluting the terrestrial and aquatic environment, plastics can be recycled and reused. Plastic recycling refers to the process of recovering plastic wastes or scrap plastics and reprocessing it into various useful products. So we can use the waste plastic and make new products from these waste plastics. So here is the process of plastic recycling. In this process, first the waste plastic is collected, then it is transported and sent to the sorting unit. After sorting, shredding of plastic and making of plastic noodles is done. So the plastic is converted into plastic noodles, which are then sent to the melting units, and after melting of this plastic, new plastic products are made, which are then sent to the market. So this is how plastic is recycled. Now here we have seen recycling of paper, metals, glass and plastic. This is the part of recycling. Along with this recycling, composting is also the part of recycling. In composting, we can recycle the wet garbage. So let us see how can wet decomposable garbage be recycled. So here is the process of recycling of wet garbage, that is composting. In composting, very important step is we need to separate the waste in two different bins, that is in wet garbage and dry garbage. So in decomposable garbage also, some materials are wet and some are dry. So we need to put them in two different bins. So first of all, make two containers. In one container put all the dry things, and in another put all the wet things. Then select composting spot. You can choose the convenient spot as your composting spot. You can choose kitchen balcony or even terrace or roof, and you can make it as a composting spot. Then the third important step is construct a composting bin. For construct composting bin, you can choose a bucket or normal dustbin or a garden pot as your composting bin. You have to drill 4 to 5 holes around the container at different levels so as to let some air in easily. For aeration, you have to drill some 4 or 5 holes at different levels. To avoid any spills, place a newspaper or tray underneath the container. So you have to put either newspaper or container beneath the composting bin. After selecting composting bin, let us initiate the process of composting. How to initiate? Let us discuss how the process of composting be initiated. For this process, you have to make alternate layers of dry organic waste and wet waste in a bin to maintain the balance of moisture. You have to make alternate layers of dry waste and wet waste. To speed up the process, you can add compost culture available in the market. If you use this compost culture available in the market, then you can you can increase the speed of composting. After initiating the process, you have to maintain the composting bin. And the tips to maintain composting bins are: if compost smells due to imbalance of waste in the bin, you can increase the amount of dry waste. You can add some dry waste in the composting bin to balance, to maintain the imbalance of the smell due to smell. You can add some extra holes in the composting bin. You can sprinkle some water if the compost turns too dry. After every 4-5 days, you have to turn the waste upside down for aeration. So you have to move the waste upside down for proper aeration. So this is how you have to maintain the composting bin. And after doing this, ultimately you will get a compost that can be used for gardening or for agricultural activities. So this is all about composting, one of the important part of recycling. After recycling, let us talk about the next step, that is recovering. How can energy and metals be recovered? As we have already talked that metals can be recovered from the waste and can be used again. Let us discuss how can energy be recovered from the waste. And incineration is the best process by which we can recover energy from the waste. In the process of incineration, the waste material is combusted at very high temperature. So incineration is basically the combustion of waste at high temperature, and in the process of incineration we get large amount of energy. This energy can be used to produce electricity. In absence of effective pollution control measures, incineration plants produce wide variety of pollutants. So to prevent pollution, we have to take proper precautions during incineration, otherwise it creates a huge problem of pollution. So this is how we can recover energy from the waste. And after recovery, let us talk about the last process in the waste management hierarchy, that is disposal of the waste. And the most common method used for disposal is landfilling. Waste remaining after using 4 hours is disposed in landfills. Sanitary landfill is an engineered facility for disposal of municipal waste. It is an engineered facility for disposal of municipal solid waste. In landfills, solid waste is placed in suitably selected and prepared landfill sites in carefully prescribed manner. So this is how landfilling is done. Now after disposal of the solid waste, the process of solid waste management is completed. So this is all about solid waste management hierarchy in which we have seen 4 R's and disposal of the solid waste. Now, after solid waste management hierarchy, let us talk about the solid waste management rules of 2016. So in India, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has revised the solid waste management rules in 2016, and here are some salient features of solid waste management rules of 2016. The first is no person should throw, burn or bury the solid waste generated by him on streets, open public spaces outside his premises or in the drain or water bodies. So to throw any kind of waste on roads, to bury any kind of waste on roads, streets, open public places is strictly prohibited as per this solid waste management rules of 2016. The second feature is generator will have to pay user fee to the waste collector and spot fine for littering and non-segregating. Third important thing is all hotels and restaurants should segregate biodegradable waste and set up a system of collection or follow the system of collection set up by local body to ensure that such a food waste is utilized for composting or biomethanation. So all the hotels and restaurants should also use the kitchen waste for composting or for the process of biomethanation. And the last important thing is every street vendor should keep suitable containers for the waste generated during the course of his activity, such as disposable plates, cups, leftover foods, etc., and deposit such a waste at a waste storage depot or containers or vehicles as notified by the local authority. So these are some important features of solid waste management rules of 2016. So this is all about solid waste management, one of the important part of second lesson, environmental pollution. In this session we have seen the meaning of solid waste, then we have seen types of solid waste, biodegradable, non-biodegradable, wet garbage and dry garbage. Then we have seen sources of solid waste. In sources of solid waste we have seen various sources of solid waste like agricultural waste, domestic waste, commercial waste, biomedical waste, electronic waste and industrial waste. After studying sources of solid waste, we have seen solid waste management hierarchy, in which we have seen 4 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. And in the end we have seen disposal also. In disposal we have seen the process of landfilling. And in the end of this session we have seen the salient features of solid waste management rules 2016. Thank you.